Hello, everyone. How are you? Can you hear me? Oh, good.
Yes.
Okay. I think I figured out my phone for today, so you won't hear it ringing during our call. Oh, I see a few more coming in here. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started today. I appreciate you all for being able to join us. And we will go ahead and start with our introductions, and hopefully a few more people will be able to jump on before we proceed. So I'll just jump in. I'm Carol Wilson with Emprise Bank and chair of ACMAT. So let's see, who do we have in the room?
Okay. Hi, I'm Tammy Comstock with RCIL.
Marie Parker with CASA and co-chair of ACMAT.
Amy Daniels with CASA. Marsha Davis with Thrive.
Jessica McGinnis, Director Community Coordinator.
Okay, and then online I see Kara, is that, or Kara?
Kara, yeah. Kara Mishmash with Community Foundation of Southeast Kansas.
Sandy?
Sandy Haggard, Neosho County Community College, retired senior volunteers.
Okay, see, see Amanda?
Amanda Clausen with K-State Research and Extension Southwind District.
Tegan?
I'm Tegan Kern. I'm with the Drug Free Community Grant.
Bruce?
Hi, I'm Bruce Symes with the Allen County Commission, and I work at the college.
And let's see here. I see Kristen.
I'm Kristen Wright. I am ACMAT treasurer and with Emprise Bank.
And Kayla.
She put in the chat, she's Kayla Knievel, and she's with Hope Unlimited.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. I'll get my chat opened. Alyssa? Did I already?
Hi, I'm Elisa Nurbis with Greenbush, and I am the program evaluator for the Drug Free Communities grant for your coalition.
Oh, very good. Thank you. Let's see. Tiffany? Can't see you, but
If you're looking at Tiffany Davidson, she does not have a microphone today. She's just with her computer.
okay. And Robin?
Sorry, she's with SEK Multi-County Health Department. Just pop that in. Sorry, Robin.
Okay.
Okay, I'm Robin Lohman. I'm on the ACMAT board. I'm also with the Kansas Department of Aging and Disability Services. I'm over the IDD and Community Supports Waiver.
Awesome. And April.
April Jackson, SEK Recovery Resources Project of Thrive Allen County.
Awesome. Okay. Did I miss anyone? Pam, I'm sorry.
Trisha. And you missed Trisha too. Yeah, you're fine. I'm Pamela Thompson. I work with the Family Strong Grant across Southeast Kansas.
And I missed who else?
Trisha.
Oh, sorry, Trisha.
That's okay. I'm Trisha Goebel. I'm with Kansas Works.
All right. And okay, it doesn't look like did I miss anybody else? Okay, again, thank you all for joining us. And our agency in the spotlight today is Sandy Haggard with she's director of RSVP volunteers.
Yeah, thank you. I'm going to share my screen if that's okay.
Yes, please.
Also, thinking this is probably the first time I presented since we were meeting at Pizza Hut. All right, so do you see my screen? Did I share the right screen? Okay. Carol's nodding at me, so I think I'm okay. Okay, so I'm going to talk about older adults volunteering. And I kind of use two terms kind of interchangeably when I'm introducing myself. So sometimes I say AmeriCorps seniors, and sometimes I say retired senior volunteer program. So I just thought I kind of explain that as we go along. Oops. And how do I go to the next slide? Well, that's new. Okay, so you can see that, but it's not fancy. Oh, there we go. Sorry, just had to hit it right. Okay, so believe it or not, there's actually been studies to prove that volunteering is healthier for people. Yeah, that kind of makes sense. So it helps them feel less isolated when they're doing something with other people or for other people, and happier as they contribute to their communities, and just helps them build relationships with others and make friends along the way as they volunteer, and use the talents and skills that they had from their working life now to give back to their community. So these are our local Allen County volunteers. 2 or 3 people were unable to make it. The people who help at Bolus ushering, none of them were able to make it. A couple of them on our call today. So sorry you missed our lunch last spring. But you probably recognize a few of these folks from the food bank. And also a few of these people actually go to Iola Elementary every morning at 7 a.m. to read to little kids. I think they're mostly kindergarten or first graders. So these are a hardworking bunch. And then, let's see, one of them actually, the lady sitting next to me with the blue jeans, she actually lives in Fort Scott, and she drives over to help with Hope Unlimited at times, and also the blood drives here in Iola, or there in Iola. So yeah, probably know a lot about those people. So yeah, so they help with the food distribution at the Iola Food Bank. Hope Unlimited has volunteers who help them sort all the items that get donated to them. And also, we just recently signed up the ladies who prepare meals for the shelter at Hope Unlimited. You probably heard about the ladies from, I don't remember what church that is, but every other Tuesday, they prepare meals, and they sell a lot of food like enchiladas and breakfast burritos, but they also prepare a meal that night to take to the shelter.
Is that the Episcopal Church?
Yes, sorry about that. Yes. Yeah, so I just signed up. There's like 4 or 5 of those ladies that work just all day for their fundraiser, but then also they always prepare a little side meal that the Hope Unlimited staff can take to the shelter. And then also a couple of years ago, I signed up the ushers at Bolus. And so we only have probably 4 or 5 people that's the only thing that they do for RSVP. And then, like I say, the before school reading at Iola Elementary. That's really a wonderful program. And a couple of those people, or maybe all of them, are retired teachers, and they just love still being involved with the kids. And I don't know if you all have been inside Iola Elementary, but that's a beautiful library, and just a beautiful setting with the glass wall there on the south side. So it's a beautiful setting, and they do a lot. So AmeriCorps Seniors has 3 sections, and RSVP is one of them. And so there's also 2 other programs that they actually pay their volunteers, but RSVP does not. So there's a program called Foster Grandparents, and they are volunteers in the school districts. And I think they can do 20 or 30 hours. And I think they get maybe close to minimum wage. So maybe they just feel like since they're a little more dedicated and spend more hours, that they should have a stipend. And the same with another program called Senior Companion Program. They have volunteers in other parts of the country that have this program, where volunteers go into someone's home who is isolated, or maybe just have some really minor health issues. So they're not a medical person at all. They are just keeping them company and maybe giving respite to their caretaker. So again, we don't really have that program here, but that is a nationwide program. And the same with foster grandparents. I think that's like in Fort Hays, Kansas, and maybe up in Paola. I think they have that program. Senior Companions is over in Fort Hays, but it's not in our area. And really, I like that we're part of RSVP because we're really more varied, and we have volunteers at the school. We just don't pay them, so we can still provide those kind of services. We just aren't part of that program, so we're a little more able to adapt and do other things. So our volunteers are 55 and better is how they say it. We do partner with nonprofits, and we have certain performance measures, because I've actually gotten a couple of referrals from Allen County, and I'm not really sure they're going to be like a fit for us. I mean, I'm not necessarily looking for more volunteer stations exactly, unless they are part of these performance measures that we have. So the biggest part, I'm looking for volunteers who are helping distribute food, because food insecurity is a big issue, and that's a major part of our grant proposal. This is a federal program. And also, just because I felt like this was a need, we wrote this in a few years ago so we could partner with April and some other programs that deal with substance misuse prevention. And so, at times we've been able to support April with her with the recovery house. Some volunteers have gone there and just prepared a meal and hung out with the residents. And I'm also on her committee. And last year we added capacity building because we felt like a lot of our volunteers were helping to manage other volunteers, like at the blood drives or some fundraising efforts. So that's a big part now. And then also we have K-12 success. We do have volunteers at other towns that do help inside the classrooms. And so up until, I think I've had this job now almost 7 years. And so they've allowed us to have a category called other community priorities. And that's where we kind of put some of these other projects, like maybe even Bolus or like a thrift shop here in Chanute. But I'm not quite sure we're going to be able to have very many people in that in the future, because we just got our grant proposal that's due next month, that they're wanting us to have no more than 20% of our volunteers who are doing other, because they're showing their reports to Congress and they're saying, like my report last year, I had 200 volunteers and I said 111 of them are in other. Those are my school volunteers, that was a thrift shop, that was Bolus, and the hospital volunteers, but it wasn't like a real category. And so they're wanting us to kind of firm that up a little. So I just want to explain why sometimes if you ever hear that I have to kind of say no to someone, is because I really can't have a lot of other. It has to be somebody in a performance measure. I hope that makes it clear. And so I do have 4 counties. We also help with blood drives. We have greeters at 2 or 3 schools. Let's see, we have the hospital volunteers here in Chanute, Hope Unlimited. But the college here is the sponsor of the grant. And I just got back from a national conference last year, and there are sponsors who are like Area Agency on Aging, their county. So different people work with different groups. And so I think I'm fortunate to work with a college, so I get spring break and Christmas and all of that they don't necessarily get around the country in my program. And so, I am, the main office is here in Chanute. We do a Facebook page where we do try to put a lot of pictures of what our volunteers do. Like soon, we're going to be going around to the first responders for 9/11 and taking cookies or some kind of a homemade card that some volunteers make to honor our first responders. So that's kind of what we have coming up soon. So that's it in a whirlwind. So does that help explain a little bit what we do here? Any questions?
I like that that it helps with the aging process. I mean, it helps keep the elderly more active and healthy. And I can see where that's true, just to get them out and about in the community and not just sit at home.
Exactly. I mean, just think if you've been working 50 years in an office, going to work every day at 8 o'clock, and then all of a sudden you're not. But then you get an opportunity to get up every day early and go read to kids at the school. I mean, it gives you kind of a purpose to get out of bed every morning.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
going to be healthier and happier in general. So
Mhm.
I'm sure the librarian there would love to have more readers if you do hear if somebody wanted to do that.
So it'd be nice to have, if there are other opportunities where you said the bolus and some of those may not count, if there are other options for volunteering that would count.
Yeah, so that'd be something helping with this with schools. I mean, you could have greeters there at Iola, schools. They just like here in Chanute, they take one day a week and they just hold the door open for kids and just say good morning. And they say that like 600 times as all the kids are coming in. And they just do it one day a week, and they feel like it helps warms their hearts. And again, this gets that volunteer out of their house really early on one day a week. So I'm sure we could expand K-12, we could expand food distribution. So thank you for the chance to share.
Yeah, thank you for sharing, Sandy. Does anyone else have any questions for Sandy? Thoughts or comments? Well, again, thank you very much, Sandy. We appreciate that information. Okay, so we will move on with the rest of the agenda, the consent agenda. Everyone should have received the August agenda, copy of the July minutes, the treasurer's report. I don't know if that, did we?
It did go back out. That wasn't working. So it's in the secretary's inbox, but I don't think it made it to everybody else.
Okay, so we can get that out later. And I don't think we have any updates or communications that were submitted for the agenda. So do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
All motion.
A second?
Seconds.
Thank you, Jessica. Okay. And okay, so starting off with old business, Water Wars was this last weekend, and what a great weekend to have that. It was so hot. Jessica and Tegan, you want to tell us about all the fun you had?
We were able to participate. Thank you to Tegan for being so creative. We were the minions, and we received some great feedback that we were one of the favorite parade members. So that was cool to hear. So thank you, Tegan, so much for your hard work. She was really creative. Unfortunately, I don't have my pictures up, but if you go to the ACMAT Facebook page, we have posted there. So ended up being a great day. Very hot day, but a great day.
Well, thank you both for taking time out of your weekend to do that and keeping some of the kiddos engaged. So, all right, new business, Bucks for Buckles will be August 24th through September 8th. And did we have a schedule set for the specific schools? I can't.
So there are some dates that we're looking at. The Bucks for Buckles with Safe Kids is through August 24th through September 8th. So I put in there some football games that we can attend. So I would like to get with the schools just to confirm those dates and then get back with Ashley Berkeley at Safe Kids to confirm those dates. But once we have those dates, we'll get those out there. And for those who want to volunteer, it's a great event to get out and give some people some dollars.
Yeah.
Or a dump sticker, sucker. So it's a fun event.
I always enjoy that event, getting to see lots of people, either going to school or on their way to the ball game and giving out dum-dums to the parents and suckers for the kids. And so, yeah, if you haven't done it, you should try it. It is really fun. So
I'll get those dates sent out to the coalition, and then if you want to volunteer, just email me back.
Perfect. Thank you, Jessica.
Well, can I ask, where does the money come from? Is that just from the ACMAT budget?
It's a grant, isn't it, Jessica?
State grant through Kansas, Safe Kids.
Oh, yeah.
So it's a grant that we get through the state.
Okay, and they give you the cash, the money that you can buy all the dollar bills. Okay.
Well, yeah, they cut us a check and then we go to our bank and ask for the dollars. And then any dollars that are not handed out, we then return back.
Oh, okay.
Okay, moving on to the poverty stimulator. April, would you like to talk with us more about that a little bit?
I don't know anything about it.
Oh, sorry.
Check on that.
Wrong person. That was Barb.
Yeah, or Humanity House has approached us to see if we would like to partner with them to create a poverty simulation here in Iola. So we would like to ask if we can get a committee together to kind of create that event here. Just to give you some information, let me bring my email up. Of course, I do not have it right in front of me now. They're looking at about 16 to 22 volunteers. They would have about 13 tables where someone would go through a simulation of what it would be like to live in poverty. So you would have to go to maybe the police station, maybe you got arrested, go to the utility company in case you can't pay your utility bills. Maybe go to a pawn shop to get some money, go to the supermarket and be able to use WIC, how to pay your mortgage and rent, quick cash, what those payday loans look like, and the consequences of getting those. A couple of employers, schools, banks. So those are just examples of kind of the tables that would be there. And then we would need volunteers at those tables to go through. And then I think they said it's about a 3-hour event. So we would then need to get a committee together to get a location locked down. We have talked to the Allen Community College. They might be a possibility for that location for us to hold depending on the dates. So if we can maybe just get a few people together. I think Sandy, you guys have done that in a different location. If you have any kind of feedback or tips or tricks, that would be wonderful to hear.
I've never personally seen it, but I think a lot of community members and staff from the college helped with one we had here with our talent search or somebody.
Did it years ago, I mean, like probably 10, 15 years ago at the rec center at the fairgrounds.
Okay.
Also wonder about it's a little bit smaller building, but I think it could still work, the community center there by Hope Unlimited.
North Community Building.
Yeah, North Bass.
That's called, yeah.
Is there anybody that would like to participate in the committee? Pam?
So I was wondering, do they already have someone who's going to come with all the materials that's needed for that? I've participated in a couple of those, so I was just wondering who they had identified.
So they have identified ECAN out of Ottawa, Kansas. I believe her name is Corey Sneal. That she would come and be able to train the volunteers and help set up for the event. So they have made that contact with them.
Okay, I'm not familiar with them, but yes, because a lot of times they are able to help with, like signs for each one of those tables that you had mentioned and all the materials and everything. So it gets much easier once you know that you have all that covered. So
Thank you. So
And I think, I'm sorry, I was just gonna say, depending on staffing and the date, I think, maybe Emprise could have someone there talking about this, be able to talk about the scams and things like that.
I will do it. Our CIO will do it.
Tammy?
When are we thinking of doing this?
We need to get a committee together to make sure we can get enough volunteers and then figure out the date and the location. So we're like in the planning stage.
Okay.
Amy?
This is Michelle Mavis. And you're talking about, I think a really valuable resource that you might want to touch base with might be George Masterson at Humanity House. And the reason is because poverty and poverty prevention have always been a big deal with her. And I think she actually participated in a couple of these events. It would have been many years ago, but she could
They're
give you
the
a
ones
lot.
hosting it.
Yeah, they're the
Okay.
ones that are the best to help plan it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because she can give you a lot of information.
Yeah. Thank you, Michelle.
Uh-huh.
And then after the event, I believe Georgia would be willing to do the circles out of poverty training as well. So, but we'd like to try to at least kick off this event, and then she can do that as an extra training for those that are interested.
Okay. So for those of you that are on the call, if your organization has something in this stimulator that you know, maybe you can't make the decision, but you might talk with any supervisors and see if that's something that your organization would be willing to participate in and help us get this off the ground.
I think the commitment time would be specifically maybe an hour of a Zoom or in-person planning meeting. And then the event itself is about 3.5 hours.
I can help either way too.
Okay.
I wanna help the night of if we're available, but I can help plan too if you need it.
So as right now, I have Tammy, Amy, Jessica, and Tegan.
I'll help. It's just I'm limited on the time. So like if we scheduled pretty far out, that would be something I would vote for.
Yeah, when they first approached us, they wanted to do it in August, September. I said, there's no way. That's too short of a notice. And plus with school, it's, opening up. We just need to get with a location. And I'm afraid with North Community Building and the gym, we'll have to pay for that too. So we're looking for a free location.
And in the chat, Pamela Thompson.
Yeah.
I'm glad to help.
She would help.
Oh, wonderful.
And I have Barb, Pamela, Marie, and Robin so far.
And is the intent to be able to offer it to agency folks or school folks, or who would be attending the simulation?
So I think that would be a committee discussion as well. I mean, obviously if we do it at the college, we'd like to get those students involved, but definitely community members and agencies. And also, mental health case managers was brought up as well, which is a great opportunity. For therapists.
Yeah, I definitely want cost of volunteers.
Because
I
like
think that, oh, sorry, I was just gonna say, if we can't find anything free, Jessica, I think there's plenty of funds that we could, it seems pretty cheap to do the community buildings, usually unless that price has gone up. So just a thought there, if we can't find
I say
something.
my church, but it's in Humboldt.
It was $50 last time we used the comp.
That's what I was gonna say. I think it was 50. And don't they give you some back if you clean it? Do
Well,
they
you
say-
have to put $50 deposit and then it's a $50 fee. So you get the $50 deposit back.
So it's $50. Yeah. Okay. So I'd say if we can't find anything else, we can definitely afford that. Just a note to have.
Thank you.
Because I was just going to add that if you haven't attended it, it really needs a large space, like a school gymnasium works best because each one of those areas require a table. And so you need kind of an expansive area to be able to have all of the participants moving around between the tables to get the idea that, they're trying to meet their budget, they're trying to take care of childcare, they're trying to do all the things that are in like their little packet of what they're supposed to be doing and living as a family in poverty. So it can be a little expansive as far as needing the correct kind of space.
So I wonder, like the gymnasium at the park.
Or there's that. Do they rent that?
Yeah, again, it depends on the dates and the times. I think they're getting it just depends on what is going to be open at those days and times.
Okay.
And I guess that's why I asked who you're going to be targeting it to, because if you could coordinate it with some kind of a school PD day, then you can have the school personnel attend and then maybe use the school for it in that sense. And then also ask for some outside agencies. So I've done one here in Pittsburgh and I've done one in Fort Scott, and you just need to really have a lot of people agreeing to, be the participants because you're going to have a lot of setup and you're going to have a lot of volunteers to manage it. And it is an extensive time commitment for the 3 or 4 hours of being there. And so you really have to think ahead in that aspect. So yeah, I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, that's great feedback.
We did it in the cafeteria at Shade Elementary. That's long ago. At least 10 years ago. That was pretty.
So with those members that I have, I will do maybe a doodle pool calendar and see what dates meet and what times, and we'll just do it by Zoom.
Sounds good. All right, and we'll just have this on the agenda for next month for follow-up then. So, very good. Thank you so much. Okay, election of officers. We have vice president and treasurer up for election. And do I have any volunteers from the meeting today that might be interested in learning those positions, stepping up and volunteering, or nominate? Well, if you were to nominate someone that's not on the meeting, we do have to have their permission first. So
I think it's actually based on the schedule. It's VP and secretary. I think we're voting on.
Oh, that's right. It's
okay. Unless you're trying to get rid of me, but what
okay.
we have on there, you and I are on the same cycle, and then Marie and Marcia. So
okay. And Marie and Marcia have both offered to continue on in their roles, but we wanted to give others an opportunity to partake if they were interested. So we have Marcia for secretary and Marie as vice president. Let's see, I don't know how to politically or following guidelines do that. Does anyone make a motion that we accept these two candidates? I don't know my wording, I'm sorry.
Make a motion to keep
Yes.
Marie as a VP and Marcia as our secretary.
I'll second this.
Okay, all in favor of, or would you prefer that I do these separately? We'll do it that way. Is all in favor of having Marcia as secretary, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Approved. Marcia, you will continue on as secretary. Thank you so much. And Marie for vice president. All in favor, say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Thank you, Marie. You will remain as vice president. Okay.
Thanks.
And making my notes here. Okay, next on the agenda is Moran Days, is September 21st. Ellsmore Days is September 14th. We had, at the board meeting, we discussed possibility of having a booth at either of these events. I don't know if does anyone normally attend these activities or have kids that we can maybe involve your kids or youth to maybe help volunteer to run the, oh gosh, I can't remember what you call it, but where you're finding the drug paraphernalia.
Hidden in plain sight booth.
Thank you. Sorry, I'm struggling today. Anybody interested in that? I know Jessica and Tegan will probably be checking with the students that are involved in the DFC stuff, so. Okay. Okay. Well, if not, we'll see what Jessica and Tegan can come up with the youth and we'll go from there to see if that's something that we can make happen.
And
Does
just to
anybody?
clarify, the
I'm
time,
sorry.
just to clarify the time commitment for volunteers, we're looking at an hour each under a shade in a comfy chair with a nice cold drink. So if you change your mind, send us an email.
Did you have a date on that? Sorry, did I miss it?
Moran Days is September 21st and Ellsmore Days is September 14th.
And we're doing one at each, so you need 2 days commitment.
Right. Or one day or
either
one day or
or.
the other.
If somebody is willing to do an hour at one or an hour at the other one, we will take any volunteers that we can get to help with this initiative.
You can sign me up. What time of day is it? Like afternoonish?
So the event itself, I believe Moran Days is an all-day event. As we don't have any other volunteers signed up right now, you kind of have first pick. So what time would you like to volunteer? And we can discuss this behind the scenes if you want to email me.
Yeah, I will. That's fine. I just want to make sure I'm available in case I need to work one of those days, but I'll talk to you.
Okay, great.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Kristen. And I should be able to do one of them anyway. So, okay, moving on. Donation baskets. I gotta stop and think what. Oh, as we have activities like the fair, these Moran Days, Ellsmore Days, we talked about creating an ACMAT basket that there could be a drawing for and have stuff in it. But we wanted to include stuff that you may have from your organizations. If you have nice giveaways regarding prevention or anything, just open up discussion. What's thoughts on putting together a donation baskets for a few events?
And just to kind of add to that, we're looking at creating 6 baskets. We're going to kind of decide what specific safety items can go in the baskets, but we would love to contribute. If you have a pen or sunblock or something with your logo on it, that we can come together and have kind of a nifty stuff in the basket to represent ACMAT that we can donate to events that we're not always able to attend. And that can be giveaway to get our name out there and to give people education about who we are and what we do.
All right, perfect.
I think it's a good idea. Have we talked about, sorry guys, I missed the last meeting due to staffing, so you probably talked about this. Have we also talked about putting it into our budget to make ACMAT paraphernalia? Same, like Tegan's talking about, same things, but with ACMAT logo. Is that what we decided to do?
We did discuss getting like a really nice water bottle because we didn't want we've got a lot of kind of donated stuff that is outdated with our old logo. So, but we hadn't agreed on something specifically. We're just kind of opening it up to see what ideas the coalition has, what they would want in the basket that really promotes safety in our community. And then again, if you have education materials or like the mental health center, they are going to be volunteering some stress balls. So if you've got pens or magnets or swag, basically that's really cool and nifty that can go in that represents all of us. Again, with some bigger purchased items we haven't decided yet, but it's going to be geared towards safety in our community and educating.
Yeah, absolutely. So if we come up with some items that we want, I know that Emprise Bank can slap our logo on it and send it out. So if you have something that you think makes sense in the basket, but you know what I mean?
Perfect.
You have a vision. So whatever's in your vision, tell us. Emprise Bank can definitely slap a logo on it.
Terrific. Thank you.
Okay. So,
Pamela, she's saying in the comments that she's got some Family Strong flyers and some 1-800-CHILDREN swag. We're looking for about 6, but if you've got more, we'll take more. I'll be happy to come by and pick it up.
I'm in Pittsburgh, so I will send some up that way with our family response advocate and have her drop it off. So
Thank you so
yep,
much.
very nice.
absolutely.
Yeah, thank you, Pamela. Okay, anyone else have any thoughts, comments regarding donation baskets? Okay,
Amy's saying that CASA has some items to donate.
awesome.
Sorry, Amy, I'm slow on my unmute here.
Okay, and then we're going on to the Iola Tourism Grant. Jessica?
So I had written the Iowa Tourism Grant for the Family Safety Night. So we were awarded $1,200 for our next event. So that kind of helps relieve a lot of volunteers going out to sponsors. We can still try to go out to our normal sponsors, but that just kind of eases some anxiety about getting the funds to be able to do inflatables. So, which is the majority of our cost for Family Safety Night. So we, I believe the check came here at the Mental Health Center. So I can actually grab that from the front office. And if you're okay with it, I can deposit it into our account today.
Yes. I'm going to email you the last 4 of the account number I need it to go into.
Okay, and then Kristen, would you like to give us an update on the CD?
Oh, yes. We had a CD here at Emprise Bank that was due to mature, so we voted on it. We did go ahead and invest $2,000 more just because we had a little bit extra and we were foreseeing that grant coming in. So we're sitting at, I don't have it pulled up, but give me a second. Now that gives us about 8,300 that's invested, staying at the 5% interest rate, and we just have it maturing in a year. Should align well with Family Safety Night.
Perfect. All right, thank you. And oops. Did we have anything that needed to be added to new business? I did not think to ask that earlier. Okay. If not, we will go ahead and have Jessica and Tegan report on the DFC.
So in the last month, I created MOUs to be sent out to the school districts in Moran, Humboldt, and Iola to partner again with the Drug Free Community Grant. This helps to give us a liaison in each school to help mobilize the youth and kind of help us make sure we get those activities going each year. We have received Iola and Humboldt's back. I have followed up with Moran. So I'm kind of waiting to hear back on them. I think they were late last year as well. I'm not sure, but I reached out to Mrs. Insminger to see if she had any questions. So once I get those, I will have Carol sign those and also Nathan Pawson and then get those going. Again, last weekend we participated in the Water Wars with our kiddos. It was a lot of fun. And then I've been working on the Year 9 Drug Free Community Progress Reporting. It seems like it's taking me forever. It's like anytime I open up a slot, another one opens. So it just keeps adding and adding. So we're finally getting that done. Hopefully we can get that reviewed, Debbie and I, and then get that submitted on a Friday. And then I can also send that out to the board to review. Along with that, it goes with the data management piece and the coalition classification tool. So all of those are due this month. So we're working on those. And then Monday, Tegan and I have been asked to present at USD 257's in service. We will be going over our drug-free communities, kind of going over our goals and what we'd like to do, along with the Jason Flack Act, which is it's a required suicide prevention for this in-service school district personnel. So we'll be going over that on Monday. And then Tegan, if you want to touch base on CAPCA.
Sure, yeah. So last month, Jessica and I attended the CADCA training. CADCA is the Community of Anti-Drug Coalitions of America. That was July 14th through the 18th. We were able to attend several trainings focusing on engaging coalition members, sustainability in the future, building more long-term resilient programs, and just different gathering different information or new information, updated information that we can share with our youth and with our coalition members. So it was a fun event. It was the mid-year training. It was my first time going to mid-year. So we just learned a lot of new information. We were able to network, meet some people, and we ran into a lot of people from Kansas. And so that was really cool. And just really gathered some really useful information that we're integrating into our curriculum, into our day-to-day practice as we start this year 10, our last year with the Drug Free Community Grant. We're really focusing on sustainability and keeping those initiatives going with those natural supports.
I do have to say, we attended one with marijuana or THC, and they mentioned how dog food was more regulated than the Delta 9. So that just stuck out to me. So just FYI. But we'll be sharing for sure.
Well, just saw a thing on Facebook the other day. They are now selling actual pens that you can use that are vape pens.
That's been going on for a while.
And that's just crazy to me that, you can just go buy it and use it as a pen and then smoke away like a kid in school can do that. So it's crazy.
It is. All I have.
Okay. Thank you very much, both of you. And okay, any upcoming events, activities, anything that we need to be aware of, anybody wants to share about? Any agency updates at all?
I was just going to say this Thursday is drug court's recovery court's graduation, and there are only 2 graduates, and it will be at 4 o'clock at the courthouse. So if you've not had an opportunity to go to a graduation, this would be a good one. Since there's only 2 graduates, so it won't be as long as some of them can be, but it's at 4 o'clock at Allen County Courthouse at the big courtroom.
What day is that?
This Thursday, the 8th.
Okay, I can't make it, but I would echo that they're really recommend you sitting in and watching it.
Yeah, if you've
really
not been to
moving.
one, it's just a very moving experience and really helps you to understand the importance of the recovery court in our community.
Yeah, it is amazing.
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody else have anything going on? Yes, April.
We did get in the mail from the Pregnancy and Family Center that they are having a fundraising banquet calling Growing Pains on Thursday, September 19th at St. John Parish Hall here in Iola. And they're asking to RSVP by September 3rd, either by their phone number 620-365-3308 or by their email prcsek@yahoo.com. And the event is September 19th and it opens at 5:30 and dinner begins at 6.
All right.
It was where? At the St. John's Parish Hall here in Iola on 315 South Street.
Yeah. Okay. And April, I see you posted something out there. I was trying to get it to open, but can't get it open.
Yeah, so we are building a drug endangered children's alliance for Southeast Kansas, and the national alliance has or we've signed the MOE or whatever to do the national alliance training, which starts August 15th. There's an orientation. I'm asking everybody that might be interested to at least attend the orientation. You don't have to do all the rest of them if you don't want to. But the orientation will give a good overview. But of course, we want as many people involved in the trainings, and the flyer that I put in the chat has all of that, and there's a register button there. And so if you want to pass that along.
All right, thank you, April. Right. Okay. Anybody else?
I dropped our flyer in for how to share your story. So KU is collecting stories of families across Kansas. It will actually be going for a little while, probably about a year, but those stories then lead to more grants based upon the story and the need that is found across the state. So really important to just keep sharing them out. Anyone can take it. It's about a 10 to 15 minute survey. So just share those out.
Okay, thank you. All right. Just trying to find where I say just save that one too. Okay. Anybody else? Okay. Well, if no one else has anything to add or any updates, then our next meeting will be September 3rd. And I will give you a few minutes back in your day. All right. Everybody have a great afternoon and thank you so much. Bye-bye.